Howdy, 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 everybody. Here we are another Thursday night. Do a little homework, as Bill says. Well, I guess I better turn my camera on, hadn't I? Alrighty. I get a little homework done here. Next week, next Thursday, as everybody knows, is Thanksgiving, so we'll not have a Johnny Small Train talk show that night, so figured everybody would be sound asleep anyway after eating all that turkey and food. But next week we do have into Joe's train Joe's train room, not into, but Joe's train room on the 21st. So be sure and tune in for that. Joe and Bill, the track planner, will be there talking about operations and car cards or whatever, how everything's used in it. So that'll be a continuing series. How you doing, Jason?
Oh, doing alright.
Yeah, doing
Surviving
alright.
Snowpalooza.
Yeah, doing alright, Tim.
Oh, I'm doing too bad.
Yeah. See, Andy decided to take a night off.
Yeah, it's just off at a reasonable time, I would say.
Oh, you missed it. You should have been here last week. Prof was in here. He come in.
Sense.
Yeah, we got a bunch of them here in the chat. We got Dwight, Brian, Greg, Curtis. How you doing? John, Dilly, Ari. He's over. And DDA 40, X-Man. He said he's back. Yeah, I've never built a yard before, especially a pass-through. Done any kind of yard ladders or anything. Hey, here come Dave, Container Man. Buddy Long. Yeah, snowy Hershey, Pennsylvania, he said. Anyway, I printed out because John, the fellow I'm helping build a layout, we got around. I've been laying the main line all the way around. Got around to where the yard is, and he wanted a pass-through yard. I could have shot him for that one. Got a lot of turnouts. Got things 6 tracks. But anyway, I've been trying to figure it out. I laid out some turnouts and all, and it just wasn't looking right to me. So I thought it'd be smart. I printed out some of those fast tracks turnouts. I'm going to use number 5s in the yard. And so, yeah, that works out pretty good. I got those laid out. Had to work out a few issues on the turnouts where the yard lead is on that end, but that's just a matter of shoving them down a little bit further. Give me a little room because John's going to have all ground throws on his turnouts. I found out a long time ago, keep the electronics down to a bare minimum. So he's going to be DCC, but just strictly run the trains.
Yeah.
He'll have to do all ground throws. That way he's got to follow the train around, which would be good for him. But I'll get over again. We're going to take next week off, but I'll be over a week after. I'll grab some pictures of how I laid it out with the paper turnouts. Do a little show and tell here. I got both ends laid out now. Looks good, it all lined up. I said, okay. Well, besides the snow, anybody got anything train going on? Oh, Tim Dwight said he wanted to see the supplying cars.
Yeah, hang on. They're up the locomotive now.
And I have, despite my crazy work schedule, actually been doing a little bit of railroading. It's often been really, really late at night when I've been able to get home. But you know how it is if you work late, by the time you do get home, you're not ready to go to sleep immediately. It takes a little while to wind down. So I've been in here running myself out of static grass and stuff. I've grassed a whole bunch of areas. I'll show you here in a minute what I've got done. Tonight I'm making some puddles with some resin. I'm not ready to pour the rivers just yet. Beyond the river I've already poured.
You might want to look at the bottom of that cup, Andy. It looks like you got a drip on there.
Oh yeah, probably water. I've been keeping it in. Thank you though. I've been keeping it in the hot water I've got on my desk to keep it nice and runny before I put it in.
Okay. Just want to make sure it didn't eat a hole in that cup with a.
Right. Oh yeah, no doubt. Thank you though.
What you call was that thermal reaction?
Thermolytic reaction. It does heat up a little bit. Part of the reason that I seal all my waterways so far, since I use foam, as everybody knows, I seal the waterways with everywhere I put water. If it's a puddle, I'll just seal it with like a gloss medium of some kind, Mod Podge, or I don't care as much about Mod Podge as I do. I found it gets a little foggy if you overdo it, put too much in, or polyacrylic. I've used it a few times. So I had polyacrylic down in this spot. Granted, I've got some cars sitting up here where they don't belong, as I've been working on the yard section, but fill the resin in there. I've got my yard section out. I've been working on it myself too, and I put some mud puddles in it. Some little spots where it goes along the cliff line, and I've got little resin spots and stuff in a couple little spots like that. I'll grass right up to that. Put quite a bit of grass around it, so it'll just kind of disappear, but where water kind of pools.
Yeah.
And I've redone the section here of the yard, regrassed it, tore out all that old goat hair grass. I've still got some of that around the I've got this that's all done in goat hair, and I'll come back and cut that out, I think, or at least part of it, or diminish it quite a bit. Because when I first put that in, I didn't know a lot about. Well, I guess you could say I didn't know a lot about anything really. In what I was doing with this, so I did the goat hair stuff. Actually, it looks pretty decent up there, because it's going to be up. This will be, there'll be trees along in the bottom section. You're going to see that in the background. So I think the goat hair will work up there. But these spots there look pretty awful, actually. That stuff doesn't do a great job for that compared to the new grass works I've done. I'll show you a couple of those spots.
All right, real quick, I want to say, hey Dave, hey host. He hasn't been in for a while.
Dave,
how you doing? Mark's in here too. He says it's snowing like crazy there in Massachusetts.
Kind of comes with the territory of Boston, right?
Yeah.
Haven't seen Dave Blaho in a long time. I've seen him post on Facebook, but
yeah.
Dave, I think I seen you had posted some module stuff you've been working on.
Yeah, you can come in here on the panel if you want to, Dave. If you got a camera, just go back to the post and click on the link. See, he's doing great. Good to see you guys. EJ and E Jeff. Yeah, said how just got done shoveling. Yeah, phones work, but you know, if you want to jump in, doesn't have all the features, but I'll get you in here.
I'm on my phone at the moment. It's more trouble than it's worth to set the computer up at the moment since I've been moving around in here lately. So it works. That's the new grass works I've done to finishing up track work, so I got to get that turnout built. And let's see, then I did all this section back in here.
Yeah, looking good.
And then over around the town where the, let's see, I grassed over this. I'll show you this second place.
Oh, by the way, Jim, Dwight said those look good, spline cars.
Yeah, I'm putting together more right now.
That track's abandoned, so I've grassed over that. I haven't weathered it any yet, but tie out into this turnout here.
Yeah, several people said it looks good.
I've used a lot of grass mats when doing it, and I've used a lot of static grass too, but I took all that stupid goat. I took a lot of that goat grass out, and you know, this section didn't have any grass on it in the foreground or anywhere at all, and then along the trackage, you know, and I've done that section back in there where the helper pocket is. That's grassed over. Because it's nearly abandoned at this point. And then back through there. So mostly static grass. I've done some landform stuff too. Got this siding ready to go in. Got this track laid and, you know, pretty roughed in. I need to do some more work, but I got that section of module about ready to go. I've been cleaning this up. I'm going to do some modification back there.
Yeah, Container Man, those are Tim's. He's up here, Wyman 300. That's who Spline Cars belong to. Ari said he asked Santa for a Wheeling Scenic static grass applicator. Hey, Ari, don't let your wife talk to Andy's wife. Yeah. Let her get zapped first.
That's right. Let her learn the lesson the hard way, like the rest of them do.
You don't have to ask Santa for it, Ari.
Curtis is asking, anyone have trouble with their 130-foot turntable? He said they sent him a new controller and it still will not work. Did you plug it in, Curtis?
The classic IT question.
Depends on what kind of trouble you had, I'd say. If it just doesn't power, or if it's just not showing up in, you know, if it's the DCC variant that's not showing up for DCC control, then I would hook it to your programming leads and make sure that you can read the decoder.
Yeah. Let's see, DDA40 X-Men. I haven't talked to Chris yet. I've got to get with him. If he wants to resume, we'll probably do that sometime next year. We're getting into the holidays and things are getting a little thin. Oh, Curry's saying it will not calibrate.
Oh, yeah, indexing is always tough. Indexing is just tough. Because somebody really ought to do a video on that. I've indexed them before, but back prior to DCC, I indexed ours at the club, but it was a DC-based system with an indexer.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a Walther's turntable like his is. I don't remember who made it. Seemed like it was Diamond or What are those companies?
Well, Curtis, you get it figured out like Candy said. Why don't you do a video on it? Post it. We'll let you do a show how to calibrate a turntable. Here come Ralph.
Howdy, boys.
Howdy.
Howdy.
What are we doing tonight?
So I'm assembling more spine cars. Got 3 more sets put together.
Curtis is trying to calibrate his 130-foot turntable.
Mm-hmm.
He's having problems with that. He said if he can't get it to work, I need to find out how to get it working manually.
No.
All I can say is good luck.
Yeah, Dwight said the Walters TCC turntables are finicky. Ari said they're redoing the indexing feature.
I have one and I haven't even tried to index it yet.
Yeah, I got one that I bought several years ago at a estate sale. I hadn't tried to do anything with it yet.
Yeah, that's like me. Mine's still in a box.
You got a spot for it on your layout, Ralph?
I will have. Yeah.
I think it's a good turn. I think it's a good turntable they make.
I got the 150-foot one.
I wish they'd solve the problem they have with that transfer table. That thing was
That's what I would have. That's what I really would have wanted, but you can't get a hold of one.
Yeah.
I can buy the extension, but I can't find the table.
Apparently they had some problems with them, so they ceased production. From what somebody was telling me. Some might have been Mark or Dan. Because I wanted to try to get one too, and yeah.
If you're building a shop, the transfer table's pretty interesting. Not a lot of those out in the actual real world, out in the wild, but that's all right. There are plenty out in the wild. Just there are type
one up there at Washington, the old B&O shop.
Oh yeah. A lot of the shops there are. Boy, you just need so much space to model a shop. You bottle a small portion of it along the edge, though. Take the rest of it. That works.
Yeah, Dwight says there's 3 good videos on YouTube about indexing and calibration. He didn't say which ones they were, but
That would make sense. I mean, it's a hard thing to get right. I'm sure people have had to figure it out because there's plenty of people out there using that table.
Curry's saying he knows how. It's just the controller that is bad.
Yeah,
And Andy, Dave Bahayos would like for you to turn the camera where he can see what you're doing.
What I'm doing?
If you can.
Yeah, it's just glue. It's not very exciting. Glue and some dirt. I made some modifications, covered it up with some goop the other day. So I'll slap some dirt over top of what I got. Then I need to come back and grass the hillside some.
All right, EJ and E, we'll catch you later. Yeah, Curtis saying Walters no longer carries it or the parts for it.
Yeah, I think they wanted to wash their hands of it.
Fowler has one, I think, and it looks almost identical to the Walters one.
Yeah, it was somebody like that. Fowler, Rocco, somebody like that made a pretty decent one. I like I think it's Diamond Scale. Is that the company that makes the really good one that's been pretty well renowned for years? I think it's Diamond Scale. That one's a pretty. I could be wrong about that, but it's a wood base platform with a hydrocal walls. It's a pretty good table.
Yeah.
We had one at a club. I really liked it.
Yeah. No, Dave, Dude, and Troy don't come in on the shows anymore. Dude stays pretty busy. Troy's fairly busy. He does that disc golf, so he's pretty heavy in that right now. Although I think the season's probably pretty well over, but
yeah,
we do hear from him occasionally. Troy will pop in on the nightly chats, but here, there, and yonder, but it's long intervals in between. And Curtis said, if you find that one, Andy, please let me know.
I will. I'll take a look at that. The Diamond Scale is an entire table, so but it really doesn't matter whose table you use. The controller's the problem with the Walthers. The controller, you could probably look at using somebody else's table controller. I don't know if you could just index anybody's controller with it. I mean, you could, but I'm not sure how much modification it would require to use just index.
It's just a stepper motor.
Yep. Yeah, there's not much to how they work.
The best one on the market that I've seen for out of the box and onto the layout and work right off the bat is Marklin.
Oh, probably.
But you pay the price for it. It's $500 unit.
Yes, and it's not an American prototype. You'd have to modify it cosmetically.
BNSF 1982. How you doing? He just popped in. Is that rock you putting down right there?
This is cinder. So that'll be a kind of wide spot. There's a turnout machine to be here, and probably a signal head. I still got to. I have not figured out from the prototype if there was a signal head there or not yet. So, I'm thinking there probably will be. So I'll have a spot where it's kind of dirty, kind of a work spot. I had an actual spot cut out to put more of a turnout machine in, but a switch motor and a signal head and all that. but it's just the end of a helper pocket, so I opted to leave it tighter to the tighter to the track work.
MRL Trains, how you doing, Chris? He just dropped in. Dave Piper. Andy is the Bob Ross of Mall Railroading.
Yeah.
He making happy dirt.
Yeah, I don't know about Bob Ross. Just because I'm as crazy as he, I probably don't deserve the same credibility of him.
That's better than just calling you names.
Oh yeah, Bob Ross spectacular.
I thought Ron was doing the Bob Ross the other night. And he was painting his dirt on.
Oh, yeah.
He was blowing it on.
Oh yeah, that's a good trick. Blowing it on off a piece of cardboard.
He was painting the glue on. He'd like really in there on it too, painting it. Like up close and personal with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Dave, we'll catch you later. You have a good one. He said 4 a.m. comes early. He's got to get to bed, go to work.
Yes, it does, very much so.
And who would know that better than the Crawford?
I don't know much about no 4 a.m. business.
Well,
it happens, but it's rare, and I ain't happy about it when it does.
Yeah, but you're doing your late shit, or pardon me, your late stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'll drop 50 cents in the jar, John.
Yeah. When did it go down? I thought it was $1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Container Man said he drove, either one, through Utah this morning.
You cut out there.
Indian Head Valley Railroad, good evening. How you doing? Hey, Andrew from Down Under, how you doing?
Hey, Andrew.
Glad to see you here.
What's up, Andrew?
Yeah. I won't say anything. Container Man said, so if you guys don't know, I'm a truck driver. Some of us
That's
do.
all right. We won't hold that against them.
What model you drive? What make and model?
Here we go.
Well, you never know. He may come to my shop sometime.
Yeah. They say he still ticks just. So. 389 Peterbilt.
Yeah, I don't think I'll see you. I might. I mean, seems like everybody brings their truck to our shop, but I'm a Freightliner tech.
You don't have a compactor, Andy?
Yeah, I actually have a roller, like a carpet seam roller, but it's too much pressure and it damages the application. Now, if I'm covering the dirt up, it doesn't really matter. But here, some of this hillside will be exposed dirt, like a dirt cut. So I'll come back with a brush after it's set up and brush it all down so it has a certain texture to it. So I can't press it in enough to change the way the dirt looks. That's why I sift it on with a sifter to give it, or a colander or whatever, to because it gives it the right kind of texture.
Yeah. Andrew said, growing old is mandatory, growing up is optional.
That's right.
Well, maybe growing up's mandatory. There's some guy somewhere making waves on the internet decides he identifies as a 49-year-old instead of a 69-year-old and wants the government to officially change his age. So I like that idea.
Yeah, Container Man said late night for him, 4 hours to load and tarp the load, and then got another 30 to drive. He's trying to get out to someplace in Wyoming for the night.
And he's in here with us?
That's right. Maybe he's driving down the road watching us. I do that from time to time.
You
Shame
join
on you.
in when you're doing it, Andy.
And you drive too fast.
Too fast. I observe just as Lionel says, I observe all speed limit signs.
Doesn't necessarily mean you follow them.
Well, that might be a different consideration, sure, but I see them probably.
He seen him. He just didn't pay attention. He didn't care.
No, I have an official policy about anything you do with driving. I growl at people who let anything take over driving as the priority. If you don't have the mental capabilities to keep up with multiple things going on, then you definitely need to drive. And no matter what happens, drive first. Just like they tell pilots. No matter what's happening, no matter all the problems you may have with that aircraft, whatever it is, the cardinal rule of being a pilot is fly the plane. Don't get distracted by anything else. So whatever I do, it's mounted on the dash over here to the side. I'm not staring at you guys. You're not necessarily that great to look at anyway. I'm listening and talking, and so.
Well, that's not what you were saying earlier about me.
That's right. Yeah. Your video that you put up, I caught you in earlier doing your manicuring on video, or whatever you'd say that is.
I don't know what happened. All I did was hit the record button, but the stream came on too. So,
and that was funny for a few minutes.
Yeah, I didn't notice it till
the comments start coming in.
Johnny, were you doing how to manicure your nails video?
He had monkeys getting combed on video, so he accidentally goes on the internet live accidentally, which does allow us to find out a lot about him and his internet watching habits. I guess that's pretty weird. It's pretty funny though.
And I'm guessing he deleted the video shortly after it.
Probably. That makes sense. What else can we do?
The bad thing would be something like that happened and then nobody knows about it. And yeah.
God, what a big deal. It's just funny.
Yeah, Andrew said he had a job 2 weeks ago as a rear end drive for a 100-ton wide load, 12 hours to drive 10 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched a video the other night on YouTube of a truck, transport truck, with this huge load on it. It was one of those, the wind turbine, the shaft that it sits on, going around this 90-degree corner, and literally it might as well have been just straight 90 degrees, just bang, bang. And the back end, the guy backed it up twice, and the back end was steering around the corner.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah. Some of those, the driver actually has control up, has a remote for that, and there's others where there's a guy that sits in the back underneath. There's a little low tab on the back of that trailer, and he sits in there with a steering wheel and steers it.
Right, like a big fire truck kind of set up.
Yeah. Only the guy sits real low, really low, to where the load actually swings over top of it.
Yeah, he's sitting under the load, basically.
Yeah. I've seen one of those come into our lot once. Not seen one since.
Yeah, Andrew said they won't let him up front to drive. He has to sit in the back.
I wouldn't let him up front either. Oh no, he's cleaned himself up. It's okay.
Yeah. I don't know, there's some truck drivers out there I wouldn't trust to drive a truck, but I've seen some that'll scare you when they get out of their truck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guy almost in a wheelchair, and his dog is in a wheelchair. And, climbs out of his truck, can't open his own hood. Yeah. One-legged, walking with a cane. The dog was two-legged.
But now you're picking on handicap. Come on.
No, it's just scary thinking that he's driving a big truck.
Well, it'd be scary even if he was driving a little truck.
They're easier to modify.
Ari said how they pass a DOT is unreal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the guy couldn't even open the hood, so how's he doing his PM and his pre-trip and post-trip inspections? Nice guy, but still.
Andrew said in January 2019 he'll be 70 and he will have to give up his transport license, heavy transport license.
He'll revert to driving school buses.
Nah, he can't stand kids. Said they all the time trying to cut his hair and beard.
Yeah, that's true. The last time I remember, they gave him a real close haircut.
Yeah. Well, they made some pretty good money out of it, so
Makes it all worth it.
tell you what, that man could grow some hair, because I saw pictures of him right after that, and I do believe about 2 weeks later he had about half of it back. Yeah, I just messing with you, Andrew. So, Johnny, I went to camp with 90 kids, age 5 to 8. He finally found the camp that had his age group, huh?
Yeah.
I was at a restaurant one night, and this was a while back. A couple come in, had a baby, and the waitress over just babbling at the baby. And they were sitting there listening to her, and I looked over. I said, "Oh, you finally found somebody you could talk to."
But she didn't come back at you all this intelligent conversation.
Hurry up, Andy. Everybody wants to see you light yourself up with that static grass applicator.
Yeah, I do get myself from time to time. Every now and then. All right, let's see.
Yeah, Andrew said he's not doing the Cub Scouts anymore. He likes the younger ones. They're more fun.
Yeah, probably once they find iPhones, they kind of go downhill from there, I'd say. I'm surprised. I mean, there's so many kids doing that these days. My business partner does that with 2 of his sons. They do the scouts and stuff, but boy, there's not a lot of people doing it. I was a pretty outdoorsy kid when I was a kid, and then I ended up being a technology guy, and I'm not too much of an outdoorsy guy anymore, but I was at one time.
Oh. Yeah. I go downstairs. I'm gonna get hollered at.
Uh-oh.
I gotta go find a flashlight anyway.
How many of those flying cars you got to make there, Tim? Oh, he's
He
muted.
just stepped out. He's gone downstairs to get a flashlight.
That was already dry, wasn't it, Andy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I covered it in dirt the other day.
Yeah, I didn't think that was the same one you just did.
No, it was around the layout a little bit. This is I got to figure out exactly how to. This is a kind of weird section of the seed I've got to work with. Anyway, this whole town area is kind of weird because it's quite shallow, so everything has to be flats. Even this is the house I built for this isn't thick enough. By the time I actually built the actual layout, there wasn't enough room here for the house, so I'm going to have to build kind of a half of a house. It'll have these two walls. It'll be a triangular style piece sitting there with height. Because this is the an important and distinctive place. It's the historic museum, little historic museum in this town now, the St. Paul Historic Museum. And it was built by the Norfolk and Western Railroad. It was the Norfolk and Western section house, when the crew kind of camped out and slept. So it's, was a house for a lot of years. It is a house. It's built to a house standard, so. But I've got to figure out how to hide the edge of it. I mean, hiding the edge of the house won't be a big deal because I'll model just beyond the corner so it ducks back behind. The key is beside of the house is how I, what trees I put in the yard and stuff to hide the.
So instead of making it just like a triangle, put the one, maybe I don't know whether it's the front as the one wall. Put probably a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch return on that wall.
Yeah.
To pull it out away from the wall a bit, just on that one side. Then you can put trees behind it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. It also covers the gap between sections, which I'm going to save the gaps once I'm, about the layout. Once the layout's not going to move in the near future, I'll save it. But it'll be that the house. Actually, I went ahead and used that house on another part of the layout because it's a fairly common house. But yeah, I'll model the triangle part of the house, like the front two walls, and then I'll fold these back a little bit so that it steps out a touch. And I won't make it directly 45 degrees either. So the house will turn a little bit further toward the track work. So this side here will actually step out a little further. There's a little wing back here where they built the kitchen on anyway. So it's kind of a natural thing. Then the only trick is hiding where it meets the photo backdrop on either side of it. That'll be a little bit trickier, but.
Well, since you mentioned that, Brian W., what do you guys think about printed photo backdrops?
Andy's too busy. He can't do two things at once.
He
says he can drive and watch video while he's driving, but
I'm a computer guy.
First off,
I multitask in my sleep. I can multitask.
So how come you're not answering the question?
I was trying to be polite about my response, give everybody a chance to chime in first, so then I can argue with their responses. No, it depends on your layout. I've said it before. I'm a fan of photo backdrops, but it depends on your layout. If your layout has a high viewing angle where you're looking way down on the layout and you're using puffball trees, which is fine if you have a high viewing angle. Puffball trees really suffer if your layout's up high. They don't look right looking into the side of them. Looking down on the top of them, it's okay. So if you have a layout that's 36 inches, 32, 36 inches off the floor, puffball trees are not horrible. They will do the job. But if your layout is like mine at eye level, puffball trees suffer. I'm a fan of consistency. So if your layout is relatively high and you've used highly detailed trees and highly detailed craftsman structure kits or very good quality structure kits, and you've built them well and painted them well, you've got nice equipment and it's up where you can see it, then I'm a fan of either very, very, very well done photo backdrops on par with Lex Parker's work, or in my case, because I can't paint, photos.
Yeah, he also said I'm an N-scaler, if that matters. It really doesn't.
No, I don't think it necessarily matters.
So
Yeah.
it really depends on what area you're modeling. Is it a city or town,
Sure.
or is it just fields and mountains and so on? Because if it's fields and mountains, there's really nothing that is going to stand out that you need all the detail for. But if you're going to start off with a city or town and put photos in, even artist renditions of buildings, like you used to be able to get some of those ones from Walters, where you used to be able to cut the silhouettes out and just paste them on your sky.
Yep.
Those are not bad. It depends on how much detail you want.
Yeah, he says the layout's 52 inches high at the rails.
Good. That's a good height. That's the best compromise. I think for a lot of people, my layout would probably be too high, especially considering that I'm elevationally challenged. Mine's 54 at its lowest point so far. And on this level, the highest point is 61. But the top level is way up above eye level, way up in the 70s. But I don't think that for most people that a layout as high as mine is ideal. I just kind of fell in love with it being quite literally at eye level. And it depends on how deep your layout is. If your layout is 3 or 4 feet deep, then you could probably get away with painting easier because there's more scenery to divide it. And then the quality of the scenery makes a difference. It really does. But if you have if you're going for something high fidelity, high quality, and I'm going for it, whether I achieve it or not is still yet to be judged. But I try real hard to do something high quality. And if you're going for something high quality, and you have fairly poor, even decent painted backdrops, then I think they look bad. If they're not great, they look bad. Now there are great ones. If you want, I say go look at the work that's out there. And the two that I like to use the most to compare, look at the best case, and then you can figure out based on what you're trying to model, what your budget is. And anybody who tells you that your budget doesn't matter in this equation is lying to you, because photo backdrops are not cheap. Take your budget into account, what you're modeling into account, what your talents and what your skills are, and look at some other people's work and look at the best case scenario. So Lex Parker is one of the best photo backdrops I've ever seen done. There's also a guy modeling the B&O in Western Maryland. I think his channel is SP2467 or 2463 or something on YouTube. He's got some pretty good photo backdrops done by an artist. Painted backdrops, both of those. Lex Parker's are spectacular.
They're spectacular, and Lex says that he's never painted before. Not landscapes. And you have to remember what he's modeling. He's not modeling an industrial area. His city is on a peninsula or town. Yeah. Everything else that's around the wall where the backdrop is mountains and fields and so on. So, I mean, you take a look at some of his stuff. He did a mountain on his layout that was, like you said, spectacular.
All right, Andrew, we'll catch you later. He said he's got to leave. Brian W., he said it's an E-shaped, 18 inches deep. Each extension is 3 feet wide, 6 feet, with a divider down the center.
Okay.
Dave Piper said Stephen Bennett's backdrops look good. Somebody's asking where did Lloyd get his. I think that was what, Backdrop Junkies?
Yeah, Backdrop Junkies. Steve Bennett got his from Backdrop Junction. And then go look at the example I like to use for photo backdrops, and I like Steve Bennett's stuff, of course. His stuff's spectacular. His scenery materials and explanations of the scenery materials he uses, the grass mats and the Pollack stuff coming out of Germany and Europe, Austria and such. That stuff's great. His photo backdrops are pretty good. But the guy that I use as the exemplary, again, these are the best case scenarios. I think Lex Parker and the guy who models the B&O have some of the best painted backdrops. I think Mike Costello has the single best photo backdrops. And here's my other argument. Unless you have the skills to do a good painted backdrop, everybody can have good photo backdrops. Everybody.
Yeah.
Mike Cuff.
Hang on a second. I see Ron's come in. Looks like he broke his arm trying to paint some of his backdrop.
Yeah, that's right. Mike Confalone is not all photo backdrop.
Mostly, but yeah, he's painted a little bit.
Right, and where he has his industries and so on, he's actually put photos that he's cut out and put on a sky backdrop.
Right. Oh, and I think I'm in favor of painting the sky probably. If you use those cloud templates or that like Miles come up with and his buddy sells, or even if you use just spray cans and some cardboard ripped up, you can make some doggone good looking clouds. So for clouds, I think you're better to cut the mountains off the bottom and put those up as a photo, and then use make your own clouds.
Vanna White, huh? One arm Vanna White.
Okay, Ron, what's your 2 cents?
On the backdrop situation?
Yeah.
I don't have yet, but I'm going to do both. I mean, obviously my sky and clouds are all painted them myself. And I've even got some distant mountain silhouettes back there that you can see that I've painted. That's about the sum total of my artistic skill. So I intend to use some photo backdrops on top of that. Of course, the background of my city scene back here, my Fort Worth scene, is going to have some skyline backdrops behind the models. But some of my flatland North Texas is going to have some as well. So I kind of use a combination.
Yeah, and I think kind of everybody does. If you're talking like to the guys who hand lay track, virtually none of them hand lay the hidden track. So saying you're a hand layer assumes that you're going to use some commercial track work, commercial flex track and stuff. That's kind of an assumption. Even if you do photo backdrops, there's some really obvious and logical places to do sub painting. The difference would probably be is the key elements of your scenes, of your backdrop scenes. Are you going to try to paint that and get that, or are you going to try to stitch that together in photo? And are you going to try to do that yourself? And when are you modeling? Because in my case, the problem I'm having is having a hard time getting the photo content, because I'm modeling 1950 in Appalachia. And if you try to go out today and get high quality photos, you would have to Photoshop the tops of the mountains because they don't exist anymore. And I'm from that area and worked in the coal industry years ago, but just as a matter of cosmetics, you can't go to the top of a mountain somewhere in Appalachia and look around and look more than 60, 80, 100 degrees of the skyline and not see a mountain that's been chopped. So
all right, real quick, stopping point there. Tim?
Yeah.
Can you, I don't know if you got the chat, the YouTube live up or not, put in the chat your channel link, or Container Man was 68 was asking what your link was.
All right, yeah. I ain't got a lot of videos out yet.
And Big Bill is asking Ron what happened to your arm.
It was a thrilling tale. To make a long story short, I slipped on the ice and landed full force on my left elbow, which does not make a good cushion. So, I've got a small fracture and a deep bruise in my left elbow.
Oh, so it broke your fall.
Yes, it broke my fall and my elbow. But the concrete is completely unscathed.
Rock.
And no concrete has been harmed in the making of this.
Right. If I'd hit the concrete with my head, it would have broken the concrete. But it's just my elbow. It's made for a fun week. Not.
Yeah, but look at all the people now going, no, don't do that. I'll do that for you. Yeah.
They're not doing that. Who's doing that?
Yeah, I used to get so mad at people. My son was on crutches with his hips. Yeah. They do everything. They about kill themselves trying to get through a door without having to hold it open for him to go through. I'm going, really, people?
The crazy thing about it was, we were having an event for senior citizens on Tuesday at noon, which I thought should have been canceled, but it wasn't. So I was out trying to spread ice melt so the senior citizens wouldn't fall down.
And
None of them did. I did instead.
It's definitely called irony.
So exactly.
Yeah, Big Bill's asking who's tying your shoelaces.
Well, I have some mobility in it. The sling is more to rest it than anything else because I can't straighten it out. Is the big issue. If I try to straighten it more than about 100 degrees, it's like somebody's hitting it with a hammer. So, but I can move it. I mean, I've got motion you can't see. I've got motion in my hand, and I can bend it up. I just can't straighten it out. I can't twist it like this without screaming.
Don't bend it like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, doctor, it hurts when I do this.
Right. Well, the first thing they do then is they send you to an X-ray tech who says, "Okay, I need you to straighten your arm out like this and turn it up like this." I'm like, that's the two things I can't do.
See, that's the thing. They're part of the doctor's investigation. They're not actually taking an X-ray. That X-ray is going to be blank.
They just want to see if it really hurts.
I posted the link to my channel in the
Yeah, I see it.
Facebook.
Yeah, YouTube didn't let it go through at first, but I cleared it. So it's over in the chat for him. Well, we done hit the hour 5, so any closing comments real quick? Notice I said real quick.
Real quick. Then I won't make this comment. It'll get Andy excited. I don't want to do that.
Container Man said thanks, Tim.
You're welcome. I didn't get some videos of me assembling these things, or I'll probably video me assembling the well cars that I got.
Alrighty, well, I guess we'll close this one out, and be sure November 21 is going to be Joe's Train Room with Bill Track Planner, so be sure and tune in for that one. And there will be no Johnny's Mall Train Talk Show next Thursday because of Thanksgiving, so I'm sure there will probably be some people in the live chat if you want to join us over there and appear.in/YouTube Mall Builders, all one word. You may find a few people in there.
Bring your own turkey.
Yeah. Dave Piper real quick said, Ron, are you going to catch the holiday train in KC?
Probably not.
Okay. Probably not, Dave. You just disappointed him.
You're not the shape to run a train down and hang on to it right now?
As long as I can do it with my right hand, that's...
Yeah.
Are you going to be over in the other room here in a minute, Ron?
I can be.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we're going to call this one a wrap. Y'all have a good weekend and try not to fall down on the ice.
I'll try.
Oh, Curtis, real quick, said Ralph, the Markland turntable is on sale for $494.80.
Well, then it's worth more than $500. I the last time I saw it, it was 500.
Yeah.
So it's gone up.
Yeah.
Curtis, I'll send you the link to the one I was talking about. I'll find it.
Alrighty, so we shall see y'all next Wednesday night for Joe's Train Room. Y'all have a good weekend. Be careful, and we'll see you later.